What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on a recent article I read about Michael Jordan, and he was talking about Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, right? And so, and basically in this article, when he was talking about Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, he refused to like put himself above Larry Bird and Magic Johnson as like the GOAT. And that's one thing that I respect about Michael Jordan. Like he don't he don't feed into that GOAT narrative, that GOAT conversation. He leave that to the fans and the media. But and the fact that he has so much respect for Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, man, I think that just really makes him like people. I can really appreciate Mike more for that because like I remember the matchups that Mike had against Larry Bird, the Boston Celtics, man. When Mike first got to the league, man, those were some classic games. Larry Bird, man, was a beast. They got Mike early too. You know what I mean? They got Mike. They won the Celtics won most of those matchups when it came down to Chicago and Boston. Magic and them got Mike a few times, like early in Mike's career, the same thing. And Mike learned a lot from those guys. He learned, like from playing with those guys or playing against those guys, he learned a lot. And then when they went to the Olympics in '92, right? I think that was a good moment too for Mike and Magic and Bird to get to play with each other, and they just had so much respect for each other. And the thing I like about all three of these guys is that not only do they respect each other, but they just respect the game, and it showed in how they played and how they competed. These old school guys, it was never a thought that like Magic Johnson was going to leave the Lakers or Larry Bird was going to leave the Celtics. It was never thought that Mike might leave the Bulls. That was never in question. You had these guys, man, who were franchise ball players who went to their teams and they just rolled it out. Like if you was a Celtics fan, man, and you rolled it out with the ups and downs with Larry Bird until Larry Bird was able to win a championship. Magic Johnson the same way. Lakers fans had to ride it out with Magic, until Magic was able to get his first championship, and that's like fun for the fans, man. You get to see these guys come into the league, develop into Hall of Fame basketball players, and the road that they have to go through, all the trials and the tribulations, and so and then the reason why the only way they can get through these trials and tribulations is if they stay at that one team. They don't have to go looking for, like to team up with other people. These guys, like I said, all three of these guys just stayed at the same team, like a lot of the franchise ball players did back in their day. And so, but Mike is just so cool because he won't, he won't put himself above like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. He just has so much respect for them, so much respect for the game. And this is not like the first time. Like Mike, he had respect for George Gervin, Iceman Gervin. He had respect for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Who else he said? Like he said he could never put himself against Kareem or what's the other guy? He said he couldn't put himself above Kareem or Bill Russell. He said because he never had the opportunity to play against Bill Russell. I'm not sure if he played against Kareem. He might have seen Kareem like a season or two. But yeah, man, that when you have somebody who don't have to go tooting their own horn, like he just go ahead and just let his performance you know, it let his performance show. You have Celtics fans who think that Mike is the GOAT. You have Lakers fans who think that Mike is the GOAT. You know, you even got Detroit fans who think that Mike is the GOAT. But like I said, Mike just leave that to the fans. He just leave that to the media. He did what he did on court. You know what I mean? Same thing with Magic and Bird. Like I never hear Bird say Bird don't even really give a lot of interviews anyway. But when he do, you know, he always praising, you know, like Magic. He praised Mike. He praised Dominique Wilkins, man, and the guys that, you know, that helped bring the best out of him as a ball player. He praised all those guys, you know, and all those guys praised Bird, man. You know, Magic always talking about how tough Bird was, how much, you know, stuff he taught. Dominique the same way. And so those old school basketball players, man, that I watched when I was growing up, man, I appreciate all those guys because you know, that you knew that when they was out there, they gave everything. Wasn't no load management. You know, I'm not sure how many years they played, but they wasn't worried about playing 20 years. They was going, you know, if they give you 10 or if they give you 15 good years, you know, as a fan, it was worth it. You know, like I said, no load management. Every off season, all these guys talked about was like getting better, you know, developing a new skill, which was crazy when you think about like what they could do already, and then they off season they working on something else, trying to perfect their games, man. It's, you know, man, that those, you know, like the 80s and the 90s for basketball, man, that was like, in my opinion, that was like the golden era. I don't think we ever had that kind of hype, you know, or that kind of talent and performance that we had in the 80s and the 90s, man. That was like the golden era for real for basketball. But yeah, man, I just wanted to commend Michael Jordan though, man, for respecting his, you know, his comrades, man, respecting everybody in the game, respecting, you know, the game itself, and being secure enough in himself to just admit that, you know, these guys was beasts too. You know, that they played a part in making Mike the ball player that he was, you know. And so yeah, man, I think that's Mike need to be commended though for not really trying to set himself apart from Magic and Bird, and, you know, and just, you know, giving these guys their flowers, you know, while they're still here to receive them. So yeah, but and that's my take on it. Let me know what you think about, you know, Michael Jordan's comments that he could never put himself ahead of Magic and Bird. You know, Mike feels like I said, Mike feels like he was like more on their level, more on they're on par with them than above them, you know. And so I like that. That's a good look for Mike. Well, it's a good look for anybody. Most of the ball players who come from that era, though, you know, they just have so much respect for each other. Like I said, man, and it's a good look. But with that being said, man, make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Let me know how you feel about the like I said, that era of basketball, man, the talent that was around, and the respect that those guys had for each other, and the respect that those guys still have for each other. Like when they do interviews, they don't do nothing but praise each other, man. That's all they do. They just praise each other. Yeah, so with that being said, man, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll check you all out on the next video. Peace.